Welcome to Sound and Fury. I'm Eric Wilfred Watson.
And I'm Hugh Frank.
And today we're here to help you understand why movies always get guns wrong. And make horrible, dumb, preventable mistakes when depicting firearms in movies.
Exactly. So, have you ever wondered why when you're watching, like, Army of Darkness, and how many times does he fire that gun off without reloading?
More than twice. A double-barrel shotgun holds 2 rounds, one for each barrel. You can't fire it more than twice.
Not without reloading. So we have a list of kind of pet peeves about some of the things that they get wrong in movies, specifically involving firearms. Not reloading is one of them.
That's the one even people that have never seen a gun in real life can understand.
Yeah.
There's a finite number of rounds that can be fired through the thing.
Right. It's not like in the millions. Unless you have like basically hero ammunition, and that's really, it kind of throws you out of
video game logic then.
Video game logic, yeah. It throws you out of the movie a little bit when you realize, wow, he's just fired this thing like 6 million times and has never had to reload.
Gee, did you make a movie mistake? You forgot to reload the damn gun.
So one common gun mistake is a semi-automatic or fully automatic AK-47 type rifle. It doesn't hold 5,000 rounds. Not only that, the clip holds like maybe 30. That's a high-capacity magazine.
Right.
30 rounds is going to go, and you're out of ammo.
Yeah. I've had the opportunity to fire an M16 fully auto, and a 30-round clip lasts about 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The movie I just watched fairly recently, or rewatched, I should say, True Lies. They spray bullets into the bathroom, and there's like 700 bullet holes from like 1 second of gunfire, and that's just so silly.
Well, I had that 700-round clip.
Yes, that still has ammo in it. You know?
Right. Yeah. One of my other biggest pet peeves is the sound effects.
Yes.
So somebody picks up a gun and aims it.
Yes.
Like,
you see that they pull their gun out of their holster. They don't do any cocking motion, but it just goes, which makes as much sense as if you walk up to a car, put your hand on the hood, and it goes vroom, 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 vroom.
This is Private Robin. This is Private Robin.
Dig, but I got more bad news. I'm more bad news. I'm more bad news. I'm more bad news.
It's not going to do that.
Not unless you have superpowers.
And cocking, excessive cocking. If you have a firearm, there's a bullet in the chamber. Most law enforcement people keep a round in the chamber. When they draw their weapon, there's a bullet in the damn thing. If you go,
you're just ejecting
the bullet that's already in the chamber for a fresh round, which is stupid,
very
pointless, counterproductive, but it looks cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah.
It does look cool. Same thing with shotguns. You know, as soon as you pick up the shotgun,
that's
like,
even
well,
dumber.
You just
they
wasted
hold, like,
a round.
6 rounds total.
Right. Well, and if you've got one that's, you know, set up for regulation hunting, that's only 3 rounds, you've just lost 1 out of those 3.
Another thing that's really dumb is if you continuously fire a rifle, the barrel's going to get hot. Really, really hot. To the point where it would actually melt if you put that many rounds through it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's actually, they actually have the bigger heavy machine guns have like water-cooled, systems in there. You know, one of the movies where they actually did it right, I think, was, have you ever seen Equilibrium?
Yes, but I don't remember it.
Way back in the day. So that was Christian Bale as the main, starts off kind of as the antagonist, ends up becoming the protagonist. It's another movie where Sean Bean dies, like, you know, every other movie Sean Bean's in. And at one point, he actually throws a pair of clips out onto the ground. And
magazines?
They're clip magazines.
The fully semi-automatic clip magazine shotgun cartridges.
Exactly. Whatever. Clips is just slang. So which reminds me of an episode of A-Team. But anyway.
Which reminds me of an episode of Star Trek.
Of course it does. But he throws a couple of magazines that are weighted on the bottom, so they wobble but they don't fall down. So at one point he does a somersault and he ejects his other 2 magazines and slaps them down on the ground, and that's what he actually has a reloading scene in the middle of the movie. Then they make it look really cool. I don't know if he fires the correct number of rounds out of the as he goes, but it at least it shows him reloading along the way, so adds a little realism to an otherwise kind of silly amount of gunfire movie.
And they have acknowledged it in Hollywood a couple times. Like in Loaded Weapon 1, they parody the Dirty Harry sequence where they fire 5 or only 6 or whatever.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5?
I know what you're thinking, punk. You're thinking, did he fire 173 times or 174?
Actually,
The Mandalorian. One thing I loved about The Mandalorian is their little blaster actually ran out of juice at one point.
Oh, yeah.
So I've never seen that in Star Wars before. Even they acknowledge that you can run out of ammo.
Yep, absolutely. And he also has those little cartridges that for the big gun, that the big, whatever they call it, evaporates people, especially Jawas. Love that scene. But he gets so excited when he's going after that big Toga. Anyway, he's going after that big woolly beast thing, and he forgets to reload his rifle. So the thing's charging at him, and he's click, like, ah! So, oops.
Another movie mistake when it comes to guns is getting shot will not throw you 45 feet backwards through the air.
No?
No, and I know that from personal experience, from all of the people I've killed, that if a bullet will penetrate into the body, and that's all it does, it pokes a hole in you.
Right.
It doesn't throw you backwards. It's not a sledgehammer.
I wanna be sledgehammer. You know what will throw you backwards, though, is recoil if you're not careful.
That is true.
If you take like the Tomb Raider shows, you've got Lara Croft, played by various actresses, but none of them really have what it takes to actually fire 250 calibers side by side. I've fired 240 calibers at the same time, and somebody stood behind me pushing on my back to keep me from going backwards.
You had way too much fun on ROTC.
Well, that was just a fun weekend in cold water. So yeah, I could tell you that and I'm 6'4", I'm over 300 pounds, I'm a big guy, and if the recoil from 240 calibers is enough to knock me back, there's not a person in the world that could fire 250 cals unless that person's like Arnold Schwarzenegger or
who's literally a machine in the movie.
Literally a machine, yeah. So that's another big movie thing. Like, and I have
ironically named Minigun.
Exactly, yeah. And I've held a Desert Eagle, and I was afraid of that thing. I've never fired one, so let alone 2. So yeah, sometimes guns are just too big for the person holding them, I guess is my point.
So yeah, it's so easy to just do 2 seconds of research, and they have gun experts that get paid by Hollywood to do this, and they just don't. The coolness factor is what's more important, but
yeah,
you don't have to be a gun expert or an NRA person or anything like that to understand that just common physics and logic. You know, a gun is...
Doesn't logic more apply to phasers?
That is true.
So,
by the way, why does a phaser make a sound? It's just a beam of light. Shouldn't it just be...
The same reason that a beam of electricity makes a sound?
Yes.
Because it evaporates the air, and then there's a loud bang that comes along afterwards to suck up the vacuum, which is why we have thunder after lightning.
Which is why a phaser sounds like...
Yeah.
Especially in space when there's a vacuum and you can't hear anything.
Yes, but in space, nobody can hear you scream.
In space, nobody can hear you eat ice cream.
That's also true. All right.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Yep, that about sums it up. So, hey, stop movies with bad gun stuff, people.